This is CBS 6 News.
Good evening, I'm Liz Bishop. Breaking news at this hour. Guilty on all charges. A federal jury found former Assembly Speaker Sheldon Silver guilty of honest services fraud, extortion, and money laundering. He's accused of using his official position to scoop up over $5 million in bribes and kickbacks. The end of a long legal battle that began with his arrest in January. Capitol reporter Kimberly Howard is in New York City, where she has been tracking this trial right from the beginning. Kimberly joins us live. Kimberly.
Hi, Liz. We are here outside of the federal courthouse. We are waiting for Sheldon Silver and his attorneys to step out at this point. Not quite sure if they are going to walk down those steps, but I can show you this. There is a swarm of media here waiting for him at this point to come down after this news just broke just over an hour ago that he was in fact found guilty on all 7 counts. We're talking about fraud, we're talking about extortion, money laundering, all in relation to those 2 separate schemes, one involving a mesothelioma doctor, the other involving 2 real estate developers. This case has stretched on for weeks. We've had several issues with the jurors. One just earlier today, just hours ago, juror number 11, a taxi driver here in New York City, sending a note to the judge saying that he wanted out. He wasn't sure if he could continue with this case because he was concerned about his job. He was concerned that the owner of the medallion for his taxi cab had some sort of relationship with Sheldon Silver. This is something that apparently came out over the long Thanksgiving break. That was also a concern last week. We had another juror who said that she wanted out. Her heart was pounding. Her head felt weird. She wanted to call it quits as well. But the judge was relentless. She did not let either of those jurors leave. And today, at this point, we have a verdict. At this point, as I mentioned, we're waiting for Sheldon Silver to come out. At this point, we have not seen him since he was in the court. But I was in court when they were reading those 7 counts, those guilty verdicts, one by one. I was sitting just a few rows behind him. He seemed calm. He seemed cool and collected. He was tapping his fingers ever so slightly on the desk in front of him. But other than that, he even smiled at one of his attorneys on the way out. So certainly not, upset about this at this point. We can only imagine that if they do come out, they're going to say that there's going to be some sort of appeal after this, that this really isn't the end. Of course, there's also the sentencing at some point. At this point, we don't know an exact date of that sentencing, but of course, we'll keep you posted. We're going to stand right here in front of the federal courthouse, wait for Mr. Silver and his attorneys to come out and make some sort of statement. But for now, we are live in Manhattan. Kimberly Howard, CBS 6 News.
All right, Kimberly, thanks very much. We will go right back to you when Sheldon Silver comes out of the courtroom, if he does. Now, reactions to the guilty verdicts are flying in thick and fast. Blair Horner of NYPIRG, a nonprofit good government watchdog group, saying in part, quote, a political earthquake has hit Albany. This is a stinging rebuke to the Albany business as usual defense and a clarion call to clean up state ethics. He went on to say, hopefully this will be the tipping point at which New York's political leadership will get its heads out of the sand. Governor Cuomo must now call a special session devoted to ethics reform. U.S. Attorney Preet Bharara there stating, today Sheldon Silver got justice, and at long last, so did the people of New York. We're also getting reaction to this momentous jury verdict from many of our representatives in Albany. Coming up, live reports from Manhattan will continue, and we'll be speaking to lawmakers all night long to find out their reaction and how this will affect business in Albany. So stay tuned for that on CBS 6 as well as CBS6Albany.com. The suspect in a deadly Planned Parenthood shooting in Colorado was in court just a few hours ago. Police say Robert Deere shot up the facility on Friday, killing 3 people and injuring 9 others. Today, Deere